Hey, y'all. Can y'all hear me in the chat?
I hear you, Latte.
You can hear me.
I hear you, yeah.
All right.
Hey, Harm.
Hey, Uppa.
Latte, what's going on, girl?
All right.
Hey, Harm.
Hey, Uppa.
Latte, what's going on, girl? No, I can't hear you, Harm. You're muted. That's the reason. You have to unmute.
Yeah, because I can hear you, Uppa, but I can't hear Harmony either.
Yeah, she just gotta. I don't think Harmony is that familiar with stream. Oh, you did. Hold on one second.
In the meantime, y'all can drop in the chat. Go lick some windows. I hope y'all ready, because I am. Once Harmony get her sound together, it's going to be on to the break of dawn. Let me see. Hey, everybody in the chat.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. So what you do now is you see how you have a new StreamYard pulled up. You're going to go to the one that you're not using and close that one out so that it's not two of you on the screen. The other one, you got to make sure you close that window.
Go look some windows. Go. Okay.
Who's bullying who?
Okay. Okay. Am I cool now?
You good now. So now what you want to do is what you can do is there's a way that you can change the presentation on the screen. So if you look at your computer, you can make it to where the squares, like our icons, are spread out. Latte, do you remember how to do it's I would have to be looking at the thing.
The screen
Okay.
You know
itself.
what?
And being that I'm on this screen, I don't want to leave it and it boot me out.
Right.
Okay, okay, I just closed one of them windows. Can y'all still hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay,
now what
good.
you want to do is look at the bottom of your screen. Look at the bottom of it. It should be different. It should be different options there on how your screen is presented. But if you want to leave it like this, you can. Because I don't want, as long as we can hear each other, that's fine.
Yeah. We don't want to. I don't want to mess nothing up. Okay, y'all.
Absolutely, and we on the air loud and clear.
Loud and clear. Okay, so
yeah, it's deeper here.
Go ahead. Let me do something real quick.
Hi, everybody speaking. I can see you guys on my other device. Hey. We're going to get into some topics, y'all.
And yes, we is, and yes, we are.
Okay, y'all. So before we get started, I just want to say this. First of all, thanks for everybody who is attending the live. And second, could y'all please not mention anyone from the other side, no content creator from the other side, and kids are off limits. We won't be talking about no kids. We just going to be talking about BRIANA Brochet and JOHNELL, the alleged abuser.
Sounds good.
A to the men.
Amen.
Okay,
thank you for your support. Thank you, Lakeith Myers, for that super chat. Thank you, Nene, for your super chat.
Yes, y'all came through to show up and show out.
Thank you so much. That makes me want to come back.
Hey, Queen Step. Hey, Chit Chat with Nitra. Hey, everybody.
For everybody who wondering why Queen Step is not on the live, is not because we didn't want her.
It's all right. We still gonna. What we doing, Bree Bree? We got
what
you.
Doing, Bree?
What we doing, Bree Bree?
Okay, y'all. First, I want to, before I let one of you ladies take over, I want to address the live that BRIANA struck on my page. I want y'all to know that she did strike it. It ain't gonna last. She doing the same shit she did from 2 years ago. BRIANA's still on the same thing. BRIANA don't want to see the truth. She don't want to hear the truth. She don't want none of that. All she wants is people out here kissing her ass, and we ain't here for that. Okay. So, Upper, what would you like to talk about first?
And you
I got a
said,
list of things.
now you said not to mention any other content creators' names or
Just the names. Yeah, on the other side, you know, not them. Yeah. They don't get no play over here.
Okay. Okay, I'm not gonna mention no names. What I
But
was
you can
gonna
say
say
what you want to
is,
say, but just don't say the name.
okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, you do. She want to make sure she get her shit across.
You have her like a struggling artist for a second, like, wait. Okay.
And Lupa coming, she just got off the road, so she says she'll be here shortly. So okay, who would like to start the topic? I think Upper. We like to hear from you, Upper.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure. Okay, well, I guess I can kick it off with the reason why the story is still being covered. For me anyway. So for myself, you all know, like, I kind of laid off on the story for a little while, took a really, really big break. But the reason for me that I continue to cover the story is because it's at this point gotten way deeper than just a viral internet story. At this point, I think that it has begun to have, and then, you know, when we do our lives and we do our videos, we incorporate some color into it and some humor into it. But when you really think about, you know, how all of this started and where it is now, it is really deep, because it has an effect not just on the people, not just from this particular situation, but also just a systematic effect overall. In my opinion, y'all know I think deeply over the Black community as a whole. I think that everything that young lady, BRIANA Brashay, is promoting on her platforms is negative. And I think that is detrimental to our communities. Number one, she, you know, just promoting violence, lying on the Black men, especially in the climate that we're living in today. And when people say that we're all human, that is true. We do all make mistakes. But when you make a mistake and then you continuously double down on it, and you continuously make the same mistake over and over and over again without acknowledging at all that what you're doing is wrong, that is when people need to speak out. And I think that a lot of people had become discouraged with, I'm gonna say this, Harmony, and I'm gonna keep it as, I know you're not messy. I can get a little messy, so I'm gonna keep it censored here. But I'm
No,
gonna
you
say
can get
this.
messy. You can get messy. Just don't say no name. Oh, you can get messy.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this is like, I feel like a lot of people, when somebody tells me not to do something, it makes me want to do it more. So I feel like a lot of people were discouraged from covering this story because a lot of people were bullied out of it. And the irony in that for me is that the fact that we're still covering the story, her supporters, and even the people that used to support her ex-husband, had started calling the content creators that are still deciding to cover this story and take a particular stance bullies. I didn't like that, because I know that our intentions were pure when we first started out with this, covering this topic. So it made me want to keep doing it. It made me want to keep covering the story, where, you know, truth overrides everything. So that's the reason I'm still covering it. I have a big issue as well with the narrative being spun, where when you really look at the dynamic of this story, you clearly see this is not something that has a gray area. If you really want to tell the truth, it doesn't have a gray area. There is a right party and there is a wrong party. And it's very, very clear to see. And it's very clear to see. And it's very disturbing to me that even though a person will know that something is wrong, they will still defend it for whatever reason. And that doesn't sit well.
Yes, and I agree, because if we just put aside everything that we've ever said and we just stick to facts and receipts, how can they dispute the facts? How can they dispute what's in their face?
Right. I think Latte dropped down on accident, probably.
Oh yeah, okay.
So at this point, Harmony, from what I've gathered and from what it seems like to me, is that it's no longer about what's right and what's wrong. It's about people have chosen who, you know, they want to be a party to, or who they want to be friends with, and who they want to be connected to. It's no longer about what's right and what's wrong. To
Yeah,
me,
I
that's
agree.
disturbing. And it's no longer just, for me anyway. I think that when people say that the saga is over, I understand why they're saying that, because it's been drug out for so long. But when a person continues to give you content, continues to give you things to talk about,
I can't hear you, Upper. Okay, well, Upper done went silent for a moment. But basically what she's saying is this is no longer about what's right or wrong. Now people are just supporting her because now they're starting to feel sorry for her, which I don't understand why. But I'm gonna come back to that. What I want to talk about right now is how she went live talking about the Lord, praising God. Hold on. Okay.
Let's talk about it.
Praising God. Now, we all know when BRIANA comes to the internet and she's back into she's so-called back into the Lord and praising God, is trouble in her paradise. We all know that that's what she reverts to when her and JOHNELL is into it. What is it, babe? Hold on real quick. Okay, so have you noticed that, Upper? I'm trying to.
For sure. That's how you know that something is going on.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to monetize this real quick. Upper, you going in and out. Hey, D-Ham. Hey, everybody coming in. Latte, I don't even see you backstage. Let me see. Latte, click on the link that I sent you. Upper, you still there? It's like my mic is going in and out. I don't know what's going on. Okay, but yeah, one thing about BRIANA, we all know she do when her and JOHNELL is into it. She comes to this internet and she gonna act like she back in the church, she back into God, she back into praying. She don't care about nothing but herself and her kids. And then her next move is when she explode. And when she explode, that's when she comes to this internet and she rocks JOHNELL. Hold on, I gotta add somebody.
Okay, my bad. My internet connection was jacked up.
It's okay.
Okay, I think y'all can hear me better now, right?
Yeah, a lot better.
Okay, good. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So what I was saying was, one thing she does, after she played the whole God thing, the next thing she is going to do is she gonna spaz out.
Yeah.
She gonna spaz out on his ass.
Yeah.
I'm trying to add Latte.
Let me tell you what stuck out to me, because I'm blocked from her platforms, so I can't really see everything. But I saw the video that she did where she was pretending like she was crying, and she had gospel music playing in the background. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. She had on like a black Ethica shirt on, and she just recently did this video. And she was talking about how every time something, happens, or, despite everything that she's been through, God pulls her through it, so on and so forth. And, every attack, because this is what the word that stuck out to me. She said that every attack that she faces, God pulls her from it. But I was thinking about that, and I said, this girl is a huge narcissist. She really is. Because for you to sit there and praise God because he's pulling you through every battle and every attack, well, you don't sit back to think and wonder, I wonder how God is pulling those people that I'm attacking through.
Right.
So you think that it's okay. So you want to get on your platform and brag about all the attacks that you've made it through. But what about all of the stuff that you put people through? The fact that she was on her platform crying because her case got dismissed of her revenge PORN. Are you kidding me? It shouldn't have been dismissed. I wouldn't even got on my platform and been, I might have thanked God in private, like, okay, I made a mistake and thank God he gave me another chance. But with all of the evil, vindictive things that you've been on this internet doing to people, messing with people's platforms, giving out personal information and court documents, just putting out people's legal names so that they can be harassed and all of this stuff, and you got the nerve to sit on your platform and thank God that you're making it through attacks. What about the attacks that you are prompting other people to go through?
And they ignoring all of that. They ignoring all of that. She come on here and she play victim as if she's not doing nothing. And then she'll come on, then she'll go live and say, I take accountability for everything, but those are just words. She is really not taking accountability for anything. She just saying what she think people want to hear. BRIANA don't even know what accountability is.
Right. BRIANA don't know what 2 + 2 is. What's going on, April?
Hold on. Let me try to add Latte back. I'm gonna mute my mic. Hold on.
She don't take. Tracy says she don't take accountability. Sandra.
Y'all can hear me?
Yes, baby.
Hey, let's say.
Okay. They had put me backstage for some reason. I don't know. I dropped off.
Okay,
but I'm back.
Okay, you can step in.
I agree with everything that you said, because a lot of people say, why do we still follow the story? Because it's a story. And what do you do with a story? You follow it. And 9 times out of 10, it's a journey. Somebody is going through a journey and you're basically following their journey. And at some point in time, as women, we had hopes that along somebody's journey or along this person's journey, that it would be some type of change. But it's been a repeated thing. So along the factors of it being a repeated thing, we just re-show the cycle that's being repeated. You can't be mad that you're repeating the same things and people are able to see the factors of the repeating of the actions that you're putting out. Now, when I first came into this situation, I'm going to be honest with you. What makes me feel that I need to go as hard in the situation to show a person's actions is because when I came into the situation, I went just as hard against it, because just like a lot of other people, I believe the person that was crying out. I believe the person that was saying that they was going through something, and I came with an opinion off of the factors of what I thought. Now, once I chimed in to observe a little bit more and I seen a person for who they was, like I thought that other people should see, because maybe other people are being misled as well. Like you said, there's young girls, there's young people, because there's all age women that praise this girl. Let's just be honest, that watch her. And it's not for the factors of watching her, for the factors of what she's putting out and doing to people. People praise her for the way that she looks. Do you understand? Nobody gets up here and say, oh, well, she's ugly. Her actions is very ugly. And when a person's actions is ugly, that will start to make them ugly as well. You can't harass people. And I say harass people because, like you said, when you putting out people's information, personal business, their government names, not only are you now attacking them, but you're opening the door for people that you don't even know and all types of people to attack them as well. We have children, we have family members, and we also have things that we need to protect that has came and been a part of this situation just for the factors of what we thought. We ain't gonna even speak about the people that's actually attached So as long as there is a story to be told, Tay is going to tell it. And there's no timeline on how long that may be.
That part.
Let's talk about the timeline.
Please get in the timeline, because it has not been 3 years.
Let's talk about the timeline, because it's a lot of non-counting mofos running around here. Now, I wish I had a chalkboard, but a year, you guys, a year is 12 months. So if this started in October of 22, then that would be 2 years, 2.5 years that this has been going on.
Right.
But what I want to say though is that I can tell that this is way deeper, like I said, than just some internet story, because the amount of attacks and the effort put behind the attacks on the content creators who still decide to speak on this story, I mean, it really disturbs some people's souls that we still talk about this story. I mean, we got people saying, oh, well, BRIANA is giving y'all content. Yeah, but it's gotten to the point now where we have become the content.
Upper, can I cut you off for 1 second? Not even being funny. When they say that, they don't even realize that they're making her look bad. Because if she's our content and this is her real life, what does that say?
True. Yep.
This is content for us, but it's real life for her. So what does that should speak volumes? We're only bringing to the forefront what it is that we see. Now, this is the life that she's actually living.
Mm-hmm.
So how could we be tired of putting out something that somebody's living every day? If they ain't tired of living it, why should we be tired of showing it?
I'm not. And another thing, when people say, okay, well, you know, she's not perfect, nobody's perfect, you know, the point has already been proven, so on and so forth. So what's the point? No, your point has been proven. Latay said something. Latay, you said something in your video, because I watched it today, where you said, you can't tell me when to be tired. You cannot tell me when I should feel like I'm done with covering whatever it is that I'm covering. It's a lot of people who are overstepping their bounds when it comes to other people's platforms. If you don't want to, and whether people want to be real with themselves, we're still covering this saga because it's still interesting.
It's still, exactly.
And if it wasn't interesting, number one, we wouldn't be covering it. Number two, y'all wouldn't be worried about us still covering it.
Mm-hmm.
And you wouldn't be in my comments, because obviously not only are you watching her videos, you watching mine.
But swearing up and down, somebody's sending clips.
You just tired of being busy. That's what it is. You tired of running back and forth.
Right. Yeah.
You ain't tired of us, because I'm going to just be honest. Anything that doesn't pique my interest, I'm not going to watch.
Right.
So if something doesn't pique my interest, not only am I not going to watch, I'm also not going to speak on it. And me and you might not share the same interest, but obviously we do, because we're meeting in the same space. We're not on another topic and you're in my comments telling me, listen, I'm tired of you talking about this. We're in the same saga and you're here with me.
Facts.
So what's confusing for me is what's good for the goose, it should be good for the gander. It's okay for a person to put these actions out, but it's not okay for us to give our opinion on it. It's just like if I was Fox 5, you was Channel 2, Harmony was Channel 11, and so on and so forth. You mean to tell me that you would have people outside of our studios ready to tear our buildings down for us running our business?
Right.
YouTube is the new TV.
It really is.
People don't tune into regular news anymore to find out what's going on. They tune into regular people like me and you. They want to hear what we have to say about it. They want to see what we think, because they can relate to what it is that we think at the level on what it is that we're bringing it. If they wanted to watch the news, they could just watch social media just like we do. A lot of our supporters bring us things. So it's not like they haven't seen it. They just want our presentation. And we're not trying to actually just be honest. I'm not trying to destroy anyone. I'm just showing at what point and what course and how far people would be willing to go to destroy another person, because we witnessed a black man be destroyed from beginning to end. And I'm just being honest with you. Even though we came out here, we brung our voice, we brung our fight for what was right. This man in his real life, he's suffering every day with his finances, with his children, with everything that has to do with him, just because he decided to detach himself from a situation. And it's been the same way with the content creators. Upper, you said a word, you detach yourself from this situation for weeks, months. Did that stop you from getting attacked?
Nope.
No.
I still heard your name every day, Dry Bob.
Every day.
Let's talk about it. So when you stand up for right, people gonna come at you wrong. It's always going to be two sides of the fence, but I just remember the side that I'm on. And I'm not on the side of LaTruth or BRIANA. I'm on the side of what's right. And what is wrong is that a person continuously comes out here and portrays as if they're a victim, as they constantly destroy people on the everyday basis.
That part.
Not person, people, because now it's at a multiple. Beyonce is not coming out here and attacking people for being that she want to be characterized as Beyonce. You know, people can't be original these days. We got bugs and bees. But with that being said, you don't see Beyonce stepping up or down off her throne to come what she say and correct peasants. If we peasants, then let us dwell at the bottom where you say we shall feed. But when you coming down here where we at, you putting us at the top, and it makes it seem that you're actually at the bottom, baby.
At the bottom. Yep.
It's not what you do, it's how you do it. We all been hurt. We human. You can't fault a person for being hurt, just like you can't fault a person for making a mistake. But how you handle yourself after that is what says a lot about you as a person.
Yeah.
If it comes down to the factors of her moose, the one moose, the big moose, if it comes down to the factors of her miss or her moose being destroyed, she caused that from the same repeated actions that she did within her marriage. We would not have the information on him to give if it wasn't for those lips. And the difference is she brung evidence this time. Like, y'all ain't believe me last time. Look, here go pictures. Look at my neck. Look at my neck. My throat. He grabbed my throat. So now the difference is not only are we fighting for a purpose, we fighting for a whole generation of black men that may be dealing with this situation and don't say the fact is that they're dealing with domestic violence from a woman, because how it will be handled.
Facts.
A woman can cry out and she'll have millions of people behind her. A man will cry out and it's a total opposite. Oh man, she just love you. She acting up. Oh nigga, you weak. You complaining. Or oh, this man he's a bitch ass nigga. He's the police. This, that, and the third. Excuse me. How am I police? Because I know how to do things correct. I'm not willing to go to jail or hell and not be able to be here for my kids. My kids. Even if somebody else is willing to risk it. So if I got to be a police person for that, then that's what I'm going to be. But I don't have to come to the internet and handle myself the way that people say that I should handle myself, because they don't have to deal with the outcome. I do.
Right.
And sometimes dealing in silence is your best friend. He comes to the internet. He gives his content. But when it comes to his personal business, we don't find out about that until after it's done.
And then also when you speak about his personal business, let me say this and tell me if y'all agree. I'm sure y'all will. But the difference between those that support BRIANA and us is that when we give our content, it's actually very simple. We don't have to go digging for any background checks. We don't have to go digging in her finances to see if she has any cars that are being repossessed. We don't have to see if she has any evictions. We don't
Right.
have to dig into her personal business. She literally displays everything online. So how arrogant is it? Not only just for her supporters, but also for her to believe that she can lay all of her business out on the World Wide Web and think that we are not supposed to touch it. Now, this is what I'm gonna say about the truth, because I'm piggybacking off what Latae just said. When it comes to Latae, not Latae, when it comes to LaTruth, um, I really feel like I really find it quite ironic how we can the same people, I'm trying to put this the right way. The same people that sit around and y'all moderators get these people that's putting these comments, get them out of here because we're not doing that today.
Yeah, don't even time them out. Get them up out of here.
Get them up out of here. The same people that complain about every single thing that BRIANA does wrong that we blog about are the same people that you see all up in the same chats that drag LaTruth, not for the business that he puts on the internet himself, but for the business that the content creators have to dig up and look for.
Absolutely.
And court cases that don't nobody know nothing about unless you search for them, evictions, car notes, and all of this other irrelevant stuff. I'm gonna tell y'all why it has gotten from domestic violence to where it is now. The reason why it has gotten so far off course from DV is because they like to say that he wasn't vindicated, but he was clearly found innocent in the court of public opinion and in the court of law.
Because
he was clearly found innocent.
Absolutely.
So I said this before on another panel because it's very true. When somebody wins a fight, they're not looking for a rematch because they already won. But when somebody feels like the loser, they're going to keep coming after you, keep bothering you to get to try to initiate another fight so they can say, oh, I won that one. The winner just walks away. So what they're doing is that they know that the person that they were trying to destroy has been found innocent, right? So now they're trying to find any little thing to humiliate him with, because the thing that they tried to go after him for was all a big lie.
To make him guilty of something.
They're humiliated. So they're going to continue to come after him, continue to come after the content creators, because the initial reason behind the saga, the initial reason behind the saga, it's over. We know that he did not abuse BRIANA. So that's why we're seeing these content creators who were in support of BRIANA talking about things that don't even matter, talking about if his car got repossessed, pretending like he was trying to touch his daughter inappropriately because they have nothing else. So they're grasping at straws, in desperation to try to destroy this man.
Even with that, how far is too far? Like, down to the factors of even the comment of his daughter. Like, I'm just being honest. It's supposed to be a certain thing called boundaries, because if that was the case and that was the thought, you got to remember, this woman was comfortable to bring kids that wasn't his around him.
Right.
So if you are defending this person, if that's what you say that you coming out here and you doing this time at this point in time, why would you even be able to throw something like that out in the air and it be okay? Because if you're going to go at a person, you go at a person. But if we not talking about the factors of kids, that definitely should be something that shouldn't be ever said.
Right. And what I don't understand is why they feel like it's a problem for us to come out here and lay the facts out. And they can sit and dog Robert daily. Y'all don't hear us coming on here saying, don't talk about Robert. Don't dog Robert. Don't do that.
We don't care.
We don't care.
I don't.
So I don't know why we just can't be over here in our own lane doing our own thing, just like they can do their own. We don't care about what they talk about on they channels. That's their channel. They have the right to
How
talk
would
about
I?
whatever it is they want to talk about. But why do they get so nasty with it? I don't understand.
Because the truth hurts and people don't like the truth. And when people hear the truth, they try to cover it up with negativity. Just like Upper always say, a non-intelligent person, once they run out of intelligent, or because they have nothing to say to continue a conversation in an intelligent way, they're going to start throwing out insults to distract from the whole conversation. Because now you think that I'm going to focus on what you're saying about me versus what we actually talking about at hand. But I'm not using my words for what it is that I'm speaking on. I'm using the person's words, because anything that we put out, like you said, is not look for, search for. It's actually put on the internet for us to see and for everybody else to see. So that makes it up for grabs, right? We not
Right.
searching for no records. We not going behind. I sure ain't paying nobody for no information, and nobody not paying me for none. So with that being said, it's all on what another person chooses to put out here. And that's what she puts out here. We not going to search nothing personal to go and find the information. So far as you coming at me, I'm not the person that's doing it.
And JOHNELL just skating by. I don't understand how women can see, can hear, can see the receipts of what this man has done to that woman and push it under the rug like it ain't happening. What is the motive behind you acting like this shit is not real? What is the motive of y'all acting like this woman is not being abused? What is the motive behind acting like it don't exist? That's crazy. And
They
y'all
can't act
scared.
like it don't exist. They not acting like it don't exist. They're covering up that that it exists. It's two different things. They know that it exists, but they don't want it to be known to others that it exists. So they trying to cover up the existence. They not acting like like when they said people had headquarters calls to change situations and images and those type of situations. That means that you know of a situation and you're trying to change the state of what it is for other people to view it differently. That don't mean that you're unknowing or you acting like you don't know. You just trying to perceive it a different way for other people to view it a different way. You need to, change it, finagle it. I
Yeah.
can't have people see it this way, because then others will know. It's bad enough that we out here and we speaking on it, because how many people that come out here and say it's old information, but how many people is the information new to?
I was just getting ready to say that. They say people coming out recycling old information, but everyone is. Even them. Ain't nobody putting
But
nothing
what's
new out.
old
And
if they
we ain't
still
putting that.
destroying this man over the same situation? That's
Mm-hmm,
still present.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Let me,
And for what? And for what? He's not with her. For what?
and let me say this: it's at this point, it's no longer about domestic violence, or it. And it's sad to say that nobody. I'm not gonna say nobody, but her supporters could care less about her safety or whatever the case is. At this point, it has become, in my opinion, about egos, and that is the reason why, like Latay just brought up, that's the reason why. Hold on one second, y'all. Let me take this dog, y'all. Um, that's the reason why people went out of their way to try to cover up that, in fact, JOHNELL was the one that was actually abusing BRIANA.
Mm-hmm.
Reason is because nobody likes to be wrong. So the people that were in defense of her for all of those months, if you remember, before it ever came out that JOHNELL was abusing her, the content creators that support LaTruth were already saying that.
We called
We,
it.
We
we were
called it.
all
Yep.
we called it before it ever came out. So the thing about it is that people don't like to be wrong, and some people will go to any extent to keep. It doesn't matter if they really are right. Some people will go to any extent to have the facade that they were correct the whole time. It's the ego of it all, the embarrassment of it all. Oh, I would hate for that to come out to the public, because that would make me look like I've been on my platform for all of these months defending wrong. And I don't want to look wrong. So I'm going to do everything in my power to cover up that actually happened to save my image. So this is no longer about, to be honest with you, when it comes to like the CCs that defend BRIANA, it's not even about BRIANA anymore. It's about money. It's about convincing a certain narrative to their audience so that they can keep their support. That's what it's about. And you also have to remember, we all came here to speak on this story for different reasons. We came, and I'm gonna say this, we came to speak on a story based off of who was right in the situation and who was wrong. We, from observing, saw, just like the rest of the world, saw that the truth was being framed in the situation. There was a hurt woman, hurt behind the fact that her husband was leaving. She didn't know how to deal with it, so she made up the DV scandal. Everybody saw that. So some people came to the platform to speak on that. But then you have another group of women with a total different mindset where it didn't matter who was wrong. They just saw a young girl who was wrong, but they didn't want her to take accountability. So we came to present truth. They came to coddle. Two different reasons.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because it's not the fact that they also even covering up they not allowed to speak on. Let's be realistic. It's not like they can talk about it even if they chose, because they not trying to destroy the likeness of the person in which they follow it. They afraid to lose that connection in which they feel that they have, even if it's a little bit. No, we can't talk about this person even if we do know this, because it goes against the person that we actually standing for. But I'm gonna just be honest. If something was to happen to that girl and all of those people do know of a situation, what situations does that put them in? The ones that did decide to cover or not speak on.
Right.
Because like you said, us, the content creators, we called it before it was even brung to the internet. And when that picture hit the internet to distract from whatever the situation was, they was still trying to frame another person, even though he was not found guilty in a court and was vindicated by the people, if that's what you want to say. They still tried to put information or now something on him that will now re-crucify him. Like they dug up something out. Well, here's a picture of proof that he abused her. You understand what I'm saying? And it was fake.
Right.
It was fake.
Right.
It was a damn lie.
It was fake. So now y'all willing to go to the lengths of crucifying one person at the hand of letting another person that you know is creating the action go free. But I'm going to just tell you, a person is not actually going free because he's in his own demise. Like, even though a person don't speak, don't mean that they don't feel. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Right.
And when a person comes to the internet with their outbursts, I'm talking about her. You get to see or feel and hear another person's emotion through the mouth of somebody else when they saying that they laying in bed depressed and they drinking and they going to counseling and they worried about their career. You got to remember, he's laying in the bed with the person that brung that to the people to let us even know that that's something that was taking place.
Yeah.
Right.
So the enemy is the person that is sleeping with you. So they have their own inside beef, which makes a person have to come out here and do damage control to the extent of TPOs, if that's what you want to call it, tell people off.
Right. And that's why you,
because
and
now
also,
I gotta shut this up. Because if you if you type JOHNELL's name in the search bar right now, Harmony, I'm telling you, it goes crazy with it.
Really?
And not just from us.
Wow.
What you talking about on YouTube?
And
yes, ma'am.
And she gonna have to secretly support that other side, because I'm telling you, if JOHNELL knew that she was shouting them out on her page after one of them done came to the internet and told the truth, if JOHNELL knew BRIANA was entertaining them, her ass would be out of here.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, because he told her to leave them alone a long time
A
ago.
long
That's
time
the
ago.
reason that's what the problem was from the beginning. He didn't want her talking to those women. It wasn't a need. Why are you keeping such a close, like, what's the point of you keeping such a close connection with these women on the internet? You don't even know them. But that's because she was still using them to destroy her ex-husband, even though she was supposed to be to the forefront moving forward.
Yep.
Yeah. In the beginning of the live, Harmony asked that no content creators were mentioned in the chat or on the panel, y'all.
Yeah, please
Sorry.
don't.
But
Yeah,
that's
no name, no case.
absolutely true. She what both of you guys said, she's definitely, she don't know anything but to use somebody. And that's another narcissistic trait. Narcissists don't have real relationships. They don't have real friends. They don't have that. What they have is, and see, this is what makes narcissistic people so captivating and so popular. And you wonder, a person that's narcissistic, a true, not just somebody with narcissistic traits, but an actual textbook narcissist, they're able to be so cunning and so charming to where they will lie on you and you will still believe
You would
them.
still believe. God damn it, you would still believe it.
They will tell they a I'm telling you, because I've dealt with narcissists. They are so charming, and they're so they have a way of attracting people to where you know they're a liar because they could have possibly lied on you before. But when they're not lying on you, you believe them because they're like car salesmen. They can tell you anything.
Anything.
Brianna is a huge narcissist, and she could lie on somebody one day, then the next day come and say something else. And if you don't have a strong mind, if you're not intelligent enough, you'll fall for it. And I ain't even gonna say
Absolutely.
intelligent enough, because you can be smart as a whip, and narcissistic people really are brilliant.
Yeah.
Now, Brianna
Magical.
isn't really that smart, but when it comes to her narcissistic ways, she has mastered it. Not only that, but there are a lot of people, a lot of the women that support her and follow her, they're also narcissists. If somebody can come out and tell a lie and still have a huge following of people that believe every damn thing they say, that is talent.
It is. It is.
That's
It
talent.
is.
Yes, and the people that
Brianna,
follow her have the same way.
Brianna has a huge following
Of older people. Of older people.
And let me tell you why. Okay, Brianna, this never gonna stop because she has these people in a trance. She can come, you see what the little rant that she just did, right? She just did a whole rant because she mad behind JOHNELL. Brianna will break up, her and JOHNELL will break up in a couple months, and she'll do another rant exposing him. Then after that, they'll get back together. And she literally has her supporters on a yo-yo. Whenever she says don't support them, they don't. Whenever she says support them, they will. When she says to say that he's an abuser, they will. When she says he's not an abuser anymore, they take it back. Whatever she says, they do it. And it's actually kind of scary.
It actually is. It actually is.
It is, because it's not like she's dealing with a group of young women, young, naive women. These are older women that she's manipulating. When she was on live, y'all, and she shouted out names of people from the other side and was like, put some respect on their name. I was, you know, I can't even explain how I felt. I was just like, damn, she finna do them like this again. You know what I'm saying? Like, she finna, is she really finna pull them in because she need them again? And then when JOHNELL step in and say no, she gonna say fuck them again?
She gonna say mind your motherfucking business.
You beat me to the punch. She gonna tell him, go lick some windows, go lick some windows.
That's what narcissistic people do. They don't have real relationships. You will think that a person that like her, you'll think that a narcissist is your friend because they love bomb you. They give you things. They're very generous. They make you laugh. They're great conversationalists. And you're thinking that you're really building a relationship with this person. But as soon as they're done with you,
hold on, y'all.
and you no longer are needed for whatever purpose they're using you for, they dispose. And that's the reason why we've sat in this saga for 2 years and literally watched BRIANA dispose friend after friend after friend. She only needed her friends while she was single. Soon as JOHNELL came around, she didn't need them no more.
Everybody could go.
Anytime she feels like the attacks are too strong, then she needs her content creator friends. When she don't need them no more and she feel like stuff calming down, it's mind your motherfucking business. And these people are so gullible to actually go back and forth and allow themselves as grown women to be used and manipulated whenever somebody feels the need, or whenever the mood hits a motherfucker. You think I'm gonna support you when you say so? But then they say that LaTruth got a bunch of weak women over here. If you ask me, it's pretty weak for somebody to use you whenever they feel like it, dispose of you when they feel like it, and then come scrape your ass up off the sidewalk like an old piece of gum whenever they feel like it, and you sit there and allow it to happen. That's weak.
And you forced to act like nothing ever happened. Yep.
Come on.
And it can happen again at any point in time. My thing is, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something because that's what I choose to do, not on the likings of somebody else. And because she is their defense, and when she say go, they have to go. And when she say stop, they have to stop. And that doesn't mean that they have to stop on the courts of, how can I say, the bull crap that they be on. They have to stop on the courts of the connection with her. They get cut off as if it's a supply. They supply get cut off at that point in time.
Yep.
Yep.
Anytime a person can come out here and say that they put something together for a person in a situation, and this person tell them to mind their motherfucker, I don't understand how the credibility for either person could still be standard.
Let me say this. This ain't even. I really believe that some people are in love with BRIANA. I'm gonna say that. You wanna know why I say that? Because it ain't no way in the world that I could be so down for somebody that I met off the internet that I would be willing to compromise a platform that I built and have to come back to my people and say, oh, I support her again, or no, I don't support her no more. Come back 5 months later, oh yeah, I support it. I'm not gonna make myself look crazy for you. It's either you gonna do what you say you're gonna do, or you're not gonna do it.
Or you're not gonna do it.
Even her own supporters said that they felt like they was on an emotional roller coaster at a certain point, because it's like BRIANA can't was she abused? Was she not abused? Is JOHNELL an abuser? Is he not an abuser? Are you gonna be with him or you're not gonna be with him? You're exposing him on Monday, you're back with him on Friday. We, as your supporters, are looking crazy because we got to keep coming back and forth to our platform, changing our mind just because you change your mind. How weak is it for me to have to go back and forth with my own perspective just because you change yours?
Yep.
Come on.
Now, do y'all think that this kind of, changing the topic a little bit, but do y'all think that BRIANA is afraid to leave JOHNELL? Because, I'm asking that because you can be in situations and you're afraid to leave your abuser. Do y'all think she's afraid to leave him, or she just like what's going on? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't take her as the woman to leave. I take her as the woman to get left.
She's not afraid to leave him. She's afraid to be alone.
Right. So I don't think in situations, each situation, it was because a person was rejecting her. It's not because she was rejecting them. And when she's being rejected, that's when the outbursts come, and that's when she comes online and she's exposing and she's saying the things that she's saying. It's not because she's breaking up with him. It's because a person at that point in time is not having anything to do with her. Hence the word while she was in the car at 2 o'clock in the morning talking about she want a ring. So a ring is worth more than your whole existence, whatever it is that you carry and what you left at home. No, it's because a person is telling you that you, or they don't want to be bothered. They rejecting you at that moment and you don't know how to handle it. So you're having an adult tantrum. And that's what they're called.
Yeah.
It's never,
And
it's never
I
because
don't think. Go ahead.
It's never because she's leaving or she's breaking up or when she doesn't want to deal with JOHNELL. It's because when that person doesn't want to do with her, she's going to do what she needs to do to get her ducks in a row. And when she feels that it's not working, then the tension tantrum come back, because if her situation could have been healed the first go round with the ex-husband, it would have been
It
fixed.
would
It's
have been.
because he no longer wanted her.
And I think they forgot that after all of this took place on the internet, she tried to go back to Robert. Like, is everybody forgetting that?
They
When she
did.
showed up
They
at
don't
his
want to.
house in the lingerie and he bust her down, and she thought that weekend that he bust her down that they was back together, and was mad that Monday when she seen that the divorce was still on. Did they forget that?
No, they
Robert
didn't
They
and
forget.
didn't.
Brianna are not together
They
because
didn't
Robert
forget.
don't
They
want
didn't
Brianna.
forget it. They couldn't have forgot it. Just like they would have. If that's the case, they would have forgot the fact that she came out here and said that she was divorcing him when he was the person that was divorcing her the whole time.
Yeah.
She did a whole live. Yeah, I can't wait. Sign the papers. Sign the papers. Why are you telling somebody to sign the papers that you supposed to be signing? And then when she received the papers, when she online, see, because that's the difference about live. That's not a video. You can't edit it out once you can't wait. You got, when it's live, it's gonna happen right then and there.
The
So now
sheriff
once
just
you receive the
showed up at my
papers, now
door. Yeah. When the sheriff showed up
so
at her
you
door with them divorce papers.
okay, so now we on the same page. So if we gonna act like one thing gonna happen, we just gonna have to act inconclusive to everything. So the sheriff never showed up with the papers. She been the person that been divorcing him. Apparently, if even Robert, if we the person or people that's defending him, why we didn't have the divorce decree and why we didn't put it online until it was disposed or exposed by the other side.
Exactly.
Right.
You got to pay attention to the way the dominoes fall. It's not that people don't know what's happening. People are feeling a way about what's happening, and that's why they still attacking in the process of it happening. Because, like you said, nobody likes to feel like they didn't win in a situation. When I didn't know that destroying another person's life was supposed to be a win.
Oh yeah, it's a game.
Yeah.
It's a game at this point. Listen, this how I know. Okay, this how I know it's a game, right? Because do you see how many people used to support LaTruth and don't support him no more as far as the CCs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm just gonna put it on the floor. All of them people got one thing in common.
What's that?
I'm just gonna have to go ahead. Rejection. Let me tell you, people came into this saga feeling like LaTruth had to do something for them in order for them to tell this story, or in order for them to cover this story.
Absolutely.
They expected something from him. See, what a lot of people don't understand is this was not a saga that we were supposed to be getting something out of.
Right.
But people took it personal because they felt like they weren't getting something from LaTruth. If you notice, LaTruth ain't did nothing for y'all. LaTruth ain't even saying nothing when y'all get attacked. He doesn't have to. He's a content creator. Okay, a lot of the people feel that way that no longer support LaTruth. So it's no longer about whether or not he was right or wrong. It's about, I feel like I got real personal up in this thing, and I feel like LaTruth did something wrong to me. So it's not even about the saga anymore. Nobody that no longer supports him is not supporting him because he's an abuser. Nobody said,
Exactly.
Yeah, nobody said, I'm going to stop supporting the truth because I've now discovered that he's an abuser. Nobody has said that because they haven't. Nobody has discovered that. What it is I don't support him anymore because, oh, you know, he didn't give me a shout out, or I don't support him anymore because I think he might be a narcissist and he said a couple things I agree with, or he trolls, or just whatever. You know, or I expected something from him and I didn't get it. It's not, oh, I don't support the truth anymore because he really did abuse BRIANA throughout the marriage. And like Sweet Queen in the chat said, it's personal for people now, and it should have never been.
At all. Because when you came into a situation just wanting a situation to be better for a person, the factors of them keeping going is supposed to be what you get out of it. That should be the only thing that you're looking for. A person to be able to keep going and do exactly what he's doing on an everyday basis, still be able to create. At this point in time is interrupted, but the thing that a lot of women or people, because there's people all over the world that listen or that done came a part of this situation, let's be honest. But for the ones that was speaking on him and that had great intentions for him, it was to see him through the situation, for him to keep going, even though the situation happened. You understand what I'm saying? So what would you be looking for from the situation other than to see a man be able to keep going after all he's been through?
Right.
Right.
I mean, sometimes it's not about receiving the blessing, it's about being a blessing.
Right.
That's good.
And in this case, I appreciated being a blessing. And I also learned, because see, all blessings is not monetary. It's not. And I've learned a lot of things throughout this situation too, because it shows you how one situation can turn totally into something else. And it also shows you the different characteristics of people, because I'm just going to be honest. I'm not going to never say that I was a naive person, but I've never seen some of these type of persons.
Right.
Some of the people in the situations that I have encountered, how can I say, throughout my travel or path on this saga or throughout this situation, I would never think that I would be able to say, oh, well, a human being was able to do X, Y, Z to it. I've seen it now.
Right.
So it shows it. I've also learned the capabilities and the characteristics. I've learned knowledge in situations. I've learned how it can be to watch people go through a divorce and what can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And not only the people in the situation is affected or can be affected from the situation. We don't even have blood ties to the situation, and all of us have been affected as a whole. Just from even in taking the situation, do you know what type of mental that puts on to even have to edit these videos and listen to that shit?
Man.
I can barely. That's why I don't do a lot of video. You have to actually play it back, listen to it, make sure that you edited it correctly before you upload. It is. I'm talking about like nails on a chalkboard.
Upper. And sometimes, Tay smoked the weeds. I have to pull that bitch back about 3-4 times and make sure I ain't, because 1, 2, 3 seconds could mess up a whole 20-minute video. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Man.
It really can. So I got to make sure, and then to have to pull it back and listen to it all over again. That's why I just start putting faces on the shit to make it comical. If I'm going to do it, I might as well make it fun.
That damn video you did when her face and shit looked like it was, I don't know if it was crying, if it was sad. Girl, that shit took me out.
Yeah, she's sniffling. She's shivering. She's sad. Because that's her actual feelings. And as a woman, aside, it doesn't matter what's coming out of a person's mouth when you can read a person's emotions. And even though a person want to act tough, you can see inside of them they're actually hurt. But you have to realize the only person that's hurting you is you.
Right. Y'all, Lupac here. Welcome, Lupac.
Did you bring cookies?
Wait a minute.
Hey y'all. Finally
Hey,
getting
Pop.
listen. I just got back from vacation. I don't know if Harm told y'all. So I'm like 30 minutes in. I'm jet lagged. Oh my God. I'm sleepy. But I had to show up for my girl. Okay. So
Well, I
what,
appreciate
what's
it.
what's well, I see the topic. So what we chatting about?
Well, we started it off with in the beginning of the live, we kind of started it off what our reasons for still covering the saga were.
Okay. Okay. Let me start to fix
You
my
want to give your reason why you still covering the saga?
live. It's a few reasons why I still cover the saga. One, I feel like the main reason why I still cover the saga is because I don't like when people play in the faces of actual DV victims. That's the main reason why I still cover it. And two, I feel like it's no ending. It still had, you can't start reading a book and then stop in the middle of a chapter. Like we still never got to the end. And as far as, we seen everything and how it played out with RH, but we didn't see how it's going to play out with Janastros. And it's not fair. He was a major player in the Latruth saga. So he don't get to get off scot free. He don't get a get out of jail free pass just because she decided to keep being in a relationship with him. That's not fair, especially after they framed RH with his abuse. No, we ain't doing that.
Absolutely.
And we're also not gonna sit there and pretend like we weren't all watching and privy to Brianna. If you think back, it's actually mind blowing how she was really going from platform to platform, news station to news station, uh uh podcast to podcast. She was even on some Atlanta news station. She went made a Facebook group for DV survivors. I mean, she was really laying it on
Hmm.
thick, only to turn around and to have the audacity and nerve to tell us that we can't. You want to give out TPOs because people talking about the abuse that you put out. I thought you was against abuse. I thought you were a advocate for domestic violence survivors, because weren't you the one on a DV tour in 2022 into 23? But now that we talking about it, you want to tell us to shut up. You don't have control over us. You don't tell us what to do. You tell your puppets what to do. And she don't know how to handle.
Absolutely.
She going as far as going to the law to try to get people to be quiet because she thinks that she can control the narrative. And that's why she was on here spazzing out the way that she was, because she's not used to not getting her way. But she's gonna find out. She don't tell us what to do. And as we want to talk about
Absolutely.
2028, we
We
will.
gon' we gonna do it. We gonna do
Well,
it.
my thing is, you don't get to turn people off and on when you choose to turn people off and on. She can do that with her side of the fence because we all seen how the puppet strings roll over there. But you don't get to do that with everybody. You don't get to say, "Oh, cry wolf 1 minute," and then the next minute you want everybody to stop because you choosing to continue the relationship with this man. You can't play on people like that on the internet. It don't work like that.
And people don't like what they cannot control.
Yep.
And
Can't
that's
do
why
that.
we get the adult tantrums, because now that she has to clean up so that she can be comfortable within her relationship, or at peace within her relationship, being that she's not mad right now. She don't want people to know what it is that we know, but we remember.
We remember.
And
We
the
We remember.
crazy
remember.
part too is, I feel like people often get it misconstrued as far as how we feel about RH and the role that he played. Because I done had a few people come in my comments and say, "Pac, y'all not fair, y'all biased, and this and that." But my thing is, never once did we say that he was a perfect man. And that's the part that they I think they take the fact that we don't critique every single thing that he does. But where the confusion comes in it is it's not personal for a lot of us. Well, I know for me, for a fact, it's not personal. So I'm not gonna critique how he eat, how he walk, how he dress, how he do his content. I feel like
Exactly.
that's not important. We came here for DV, and that's where a lot of people get it misconstrued. And it's not to say that he was perfect in the marriage, because no man is perfect at the end of the day. And I still feel like, things transpire in their marriage, but the way they carry on to that magnitude, no, it didn't happen the way they making it seem. And she validated the fact that it didn't happen the way everybody making it seem. So that's the part I don't understand. It's like, it's real crazy because we have, it's multiple receipts out there to pretty much show what actually happened. Even receipts that came straight from her. So for certain people to still be carrying on, I just don't understand it. Like, what are we doing here? You know what
Oh,
I'm
we
saying?
touched
Like,
Exactly, Pop.
we touched
Exactly. And
on
if the
that.
truth is bad enough, like you say it is, why would you have to lie?
yep.
We touched on that too, Lupac, where I don't know if you heard that part, but I kind of touched on, the fact that it's become, it's not about who's right and who's wrong, who's lying, who telling the truth. It's become an ego thing. For the
Mm-hmm.
people that are covering this saga, it's really become about, oh, I want to be right, even though I know she's not telling the truth. I don't want to admit that I've been defending someone who's been wrong all this time. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
reason why we had people that would go as far as to compromise their own platform by putting out photos and saying that LaTruth did it, knowing that he didn't. I mean, that's a big deal. So if you would go that far to do that, it's because you don't, it's about, I have to continue to spread this narrative that I've been spreading for the past year and a half or whatever. So I'll do whatever I have to do to keep that narrative going, that LaTruth is an abuser, no matter what I have to do to continue to spread it. And so it's it's sad at this point. It
And
really is.
it's also another line to that too, Upper, because if you think about it, it's not the factors of also creating a narrative, but it's also creating a clout. Because as long as they keep his name in their mouth, that also gives them the attention. Because if they wasn't, just like they say, if they wasn't talking about that man, they wouldn't be getting the attention that they would be getting. Nobody wouldn't be hearing anything that they would have to talk about. So it's also a factors of clout and numbers. And like we said, monetary gain. It doesn't have anything to do with the factors of them actually believing what's right or what's wrong. It's on where they feel like the numbers is at.
Well, here's
Yeah,
my thing, y'all. Because we often hear, oh, she took accountability. And
I
when it
spoke on
comes,
that earlier. Mm-hmm.
you already know what I'm about to say then. When it
Uh-huh.
comes to accountability, this is my thing, right? And I feel like she took accountability the way she wants to take accountability.
Yep.
But you can't take
Mm-hmm.
accountability and then keep coming back out here throwing rocks, hiding your hands, and doing certain things. And also, you taking accountability for what you want, but you're not taking accountability for the things that played out on the internet. You didn't take, okay, let's say she does feel like, whatever happened to her in her marriage happened to her. But what we seen a 911 call that was false. We seen that being
Mm-hmm.
a lie. You never took accountability for that. We also seen the y'all reenacted the tote situation and all of that. And she was the aggressor in that situation, because before the tote even came into play, she pepper sprayed him. So, and that's considered a weapon, which is why the police officers asked RH if he wanted to press charges. And he told
Sure
them
did.
no.
You told them
He,
no.
yep, he let her off easy that day because she could have been in jail that day. She could have
Her
went to jail.
her
So it's like,
father.
you say accountability. Did you really? Because you still have yet to apologize for that.
Absolutely. And that's why I say the only way that it's gonna be right is if she make it right. And she don't plan on making it right. That's why she's still continuing the same behaviors. And now it's just showing within to her new situation.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
And
And
I
even
feel like,
that night, the day that stuff happened, where she did the fake police, well, she lied to the operator. Her father. Nobody is showing the clip. Lupac, I know you got it, of her father on the porch with Robert. When
mhm.
he's saying she done that line
Mm-hmm.
stuff again.
Mm-hmm.
And her daddy said she done it again. Her
Yep.
daddy was
Mm-hmm.
telling the cops he was on Robert's side that day. Her father was.
He sure
It's
was.
like,
And I'm going to tell you what's crazy. I have that in the video, Harmony, but you wouldn't believe. I have that in the video where when I first came out and I was speaking on representation of what I thought was playing out for her, until I actually went back and listened to that same video. So you're absolutely right. He was outside with Robert. If you know that somebody just abused your daughter, why would you be outside with them instead of inside with her?
with her. Yep.
Not only
And
that, but
then
if you
how was all of this going on upstairs and Pop's right downstairs and don't hear nothing? She literally had to go down there, Daddy, Daddy. She literally had to go down there and tell him what was going on. Well,
Well, it
tell him
was the
And why
eyes
wouldn't he
around
be
the
on.
neck
outside
issue
asking you if
also.
she
I don't know
doing
if
this
y'all
lying stuff
remember.
again?
if y'all remember, earlier on in the saga when Kevin was his brother Kevin was really speaking about it, he actually said that there was a point in time where he stopped communicating with BRIANA altogether. He even stopped talking to his brother because he was so angry that she had called the police and lied on on his brother. I don't know if y'all remember that, but he came out and said that they had fallen out way before the saga because she had done that. So this is not like something that just happened. BRIANA has done that before. The brother has spoken out about it as well. And he was very upset with the fact that BRIANA actually, or that his brother stayed with her after that. So that that particular situation sticks with me. Another thing that if you notice like her patterns, I don't mean to change the subject, but I just want to say this before it slips my mind. If you really think about her behaviors, BRIANA is like from what I see, one of like the biggest control freaks that I've ever seen in my life. Like if she cannot get things her way or get people to do things her way, she acts out totally. Even when you listen to, even when you, first of all, the saga began because of her control issues. She couldn't see the man's phone. So she couldn't go through his phone. And it was even said that she goes through his phone every night. That is abnormal.
And he was letting
And
her.
then
Yeah.
if you listen to what, you know, we're not talking about kids, but I just have to bring this one point up. If you listen to what the daughter said, the oldest daughter even said that BRIANA confiscates all of the children's phones at night. There's cameras in all of the rooms in the home. I believe that that girl has some serious control issues. She has to be in control of everything that's going on. She has to be in
Absolutely.
control. She
One of
has
Because
the
to be.
even
major
when she,
traits of a narc.
wow, even when she first got with JOHNELL, do you remember the live that he did when he was like, look, y'all, she broke my phone.
Yep, that was early on. That was early on.
She's the
You
abuser.
just triggered that. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
She is the abuser. And you know, and then another thing, just beside the control issue, the fact that she has to be in control of the narrative so bad is disturbing. I mean, why would to me,
Dangerous.
I remember somebody, I don't even remember who said it, but I'll never forget that it was said. They said that at this point, JOHNELL is literally being held hostage because even though he did put his hands on her, he was wrong for that. I disagree with any form of domestic violence. Yes, he was wrong, but I believe that if JOHNELL wasn't afraid that BRIANA would further expose him or do something crazy or try to destroy his career, I think he'd have been out of there.
She said
He would have.
she
He
was
would have.
willing to
Wait a minute, y'all. Let me
unalive
say this.
herself.
Y'all, wait a minute. Could y'all please stop putting content creator names in the chat? If they keep doing it, y'all put them in timeout. Do whatever y'all want to do with them.
She said
Okay.
that she was going to unalive herself if this man left her. And it's not the first time she said that in the situation. So it shows how far a person would go. And not only to the factors of expose. Yes, look where we at today. It's dangerous. It ain't even the factors of it gets confusing because you know that a person is a habitual liar, right? So now you have to be able to shuffle and decipher through what's true and what's false. And both aspects is dangerous. Because you don't know what a person is doing. You know what they doing in the forefront. And if what they doing in the forefront is that bad, imagine what's being done behind the scenes that people don't know about.
And that's just like, okay, I believe that JOHNELL is abusing her. But I also believe that BRIANA stretches a lot of shit. And I say that because she stretched it with Robert. You know, we've seen her take a little bit of something and make it so big. And JOHNELL done seen her character. He done seen what she done did to her baby daddy. To her ex-husband. He know what she's capable of. So he treading lightly. If he could walk away and still have a relationship with his twins and co-parent with that broad, he would. He would. He's
Yeah.
scared.
I think so also.
He's scared of the backlash and yeah, he is. Yeah.
And you got to think about
Yeah.
the foundation that the relationship was built off in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So they both went into the situation using each other for something. So anytime you go into, and that's not even just that, that's relationships, friendship, whatever. Anytime you go into a situation and it's built off of ingenuity, deceptiveness, or anything like that, it's not gonna last. It's not gonna last, regardless if you have kids in the midst or not. That relationship was rocky well before a pregnancy even came about. So I could only imagine we all,
Absolutely.
as grown women, that babies don't change a situation. If it's already broken, baby, it's broken. Okay? Period.
And if I came in this situation with you on shit towards another person, if that shoe turns to me, I already know the type of shit I would have to deal with, if not 10 times more.
Yep. Yep. And this is my thing also when it comes to RH and, Laonia. When you look at that situation and with all the receipts that have been presented, even though, I feel like it's real unfortunate because there's a lot of people who came in later on in the saga and they're running with certain narratives from the beginning that have already been debunked. That's the most unfortunate part of this whole situation because RH will forever have to wear that jacket of being in a bruiser because of people getting out, coming in the beginning, leaving, and then it's basically gonna stick with him forever. Even though he's been vindicated, you still have people who came in the beginning and they stopped following the storyline. So all they know is what they stopped on. That's the part that I don't like about social media. And that's why you have to be mindful of being overly impulsive and bringing your business to the internet because now he has to wear a jacket that he shouldn't be wearing. Because if we look at all the receipts that have been played out throughout the entirety of the saga, if you gonna call him an abuser, you have to call her one as well because she played a role. It was a lot of those situations were mutual. Like I just don't understand it. We heard the audios, and most of the time she was putting out half audios, and RH will come back and put the remainder of it out. So victims don't do
Absolutely.
that. Victims
Absolutely.
gonna
And I'm going
stand
to tell
on the
you what I
truth.
get.
They ain't gonna
What,
be conniving and vindictive with, when they're trying to put their truth out there. They ain't gonna be doing
mhm.
certain things or making certain moves. You can't be victim and villain in your storyline. It don't work like that.
And a victim is not going to be an antagonizer, Pop. Because if you think about it, right? There's women that's out here that are pushing men to that limit just to feel that he has some type of love. And if a man does not, like, I'm going to just be honest, you can tell that RH is not that type of man. We can argue, that's words. That's a battle back and forth with how I feel and how you feel. But once it gets to a physical aspect, I'm not there. You understand what I'm saying? When a man is not arguing with you in a regular term and they shooting things out like you need help, go seek help, that's letting you know it's not a regular thing. But for some women that is needy of love in certain areas, they will antagonize a man or don't feel like he loves her unless he gets physical with her. So they'll try to push a man or antagonize him to the point of getting physical to get that type of attention or rage out of him.
Y'all, I have to I really enjoyed tonight. I'm gonna be in the bushes. I do have to drop down. Thank you, Harmony, for allowing me to speak. I had a good time.
I appreciate you, Upper.
No
Thank you so much
problem.
for coming through.
Thanks for letting me up. I'm gonna still be in the chat listening, y'all. I gotta get down and finish this dinner.
We're gonna be checking
Okay.
out in about another 5 minutes or so. I was only going for an hour and a half.
Okay, I can stay up for the rest of it.
Yeah. Okay, Luke, did you want to finish your point?
I I just don't get it. Like my thing is, and y'all know if you follow me, one of the things that I've been saying for the longest is that in order for her to have peace on her platform, for her to prosper, because it's one thing to say you're being blessed, and it's another thing to actually be blessed, right? But in order for her to prosper and have peace on her platform, she has to fix the damage. She has to fix what she's broken. And in order to do that, you have to take proper accountability. And like I said, she may not want to apologize for what happened in her marriage that she brought to the internet. Some people say, oh, she took accountability. Da, 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 da. Well, I don't feel like she did because it's a lot of people that were triggered by the 911 call. She still has yet to address that. And it was a very open lie, open and shut. Everybody seen what happened. Everybody seen that the 911 operator did not ask her if he had a pum pum. She did not. She said it's somewhere safe, and she said no. He's following me. He has a pum pum. So that's one major thing that you still have. Yeah, and that alone, in my opinion, shows that she was being vindictive and deceptive with the whole situation. Because why would you lie? If you felt like he did something to you with that toe, then that should have been enough. You didn't have to add nothing to it. Why would you lie in that moment, knowing the damage that could come from that? Because RH wasn't the only man in that home. Her father was in there too. And y'all seen how those officers showed up in that moment. So it's like, come on now. Come on. It's time to put them big girl draws on and really take accountability. And you don't get to come out here and break up with your man on the internet. Then, y'all make amends or whatever. And now you want all the victims that you didn't triggered. Because here's the thing. When you do things like that on the internet, when you come out here crying, because she even had it to at a point where some of us almost sympathized with her the way she was crying on the internet about Janasha. I remember he's feeling sorry for her in that moment, and then has to remember the role that she didn't played. So it's like two totally different personalities, because you see that side and then you come back out here and now you trying to get people in trouble, the very same people that you came out here and was crucifying because nobody wanted to stand up for you when you finally decided to put it on the floor about your current abuser. Like, make it make sense. That's not cool. You cannot play on actual DV victims like that. She done made promises about warehouses, helping people with narc abuse courses,
Paying for them to
children, like all of that.
Remember, she's supposed to have been paying for people to meet with a therapist and
yes, yep. She did a live on that and said, y'all need to make this go viral. And immediately after, the live was deleted. And not to mention the Bruce victim group on Facebook that she created. That's being made a mockery. You had people complaining about that group because they felt like she don't take it serious. So my whole thing is you can't be the victim and the villain.
You
gotta pick a side. Like you just can't. You can't.
Let me just say this. I know I was finna drop down, but let me say this too. Just based off of what Lupac just said. All of what she just said, what I kept on thinking while Lupac was talking was that damn girl gonna get somebody hurt.
Yep.
She gonna get somebody unalived.
Yeah.
This is not a joke. If
That's
you
why I say dangerous.
If you are so dead set on and that's where your dad her daddy or whoever failed her, because she don't understand that everything is not going to go her way. If you will go so far to call the police on somebody and say that they have a weapon and put their life in jeopardy because you didn't get your way, you are a dangerous person. And I want you to know, BRIANA, because I know your unemployed ass is in the chat listening. You not gonna tell me what to do. If I want to talk about the abuse that you brought to the internet for the next 10 years, I can. You don't control me or any other CC on this panel or on this side. You
That's right.
control the puppets over there. You
Absolutely.
tell them what to do and how to feel whenever you say so. But you don't tell us what to do. We gonna teach you like your daddy should have done. You don't have control over everything. Now, that's it. You ain't gonna tell
Everything that Upper just said.
Ditto.
Stop abusing, and you gonna stop abusing. You gonna stop abusing the law because we gonna treat you like that toddler that you act like, and we gonna teach you a lesson and put you in timeout and show you that you cannot tell grown people what to do. Everybody is not gonna kiss the garment of your feet. Everybody is not gonna kiss your ass, and we're not gonna kiss your ass. You brought it to the internet. You a big girl. That whole, oh, she's only 32. 32 is a middle-aged woman. But you got 6 kids. That's really 38. You really 38 because you got 6 damn kids. So that whole she's young shit is out the window. And that whole everybody that's talking about me, they're old enough to be my mama. BRIANA, if I was your mama, I would have had to have you at 5 years old. Everybody is not on here because they jealous that you young or whatever. You are wrong. And we're going to continue to do what we're doing. You're not going to continue to abuse the legal system like you've been doing. You're abusing TPOs to get people to be quiet. And it doesn't work. All of us have, at a certain point in life, have to deal with something happening to us that we don't like, especially if we prompted it. You are not exempt. So it is what it is.
I think it's a slap in the face, and I think what a lot of people are missing is the fact that majority, at least 95% of the women surrounding this story are actual DV victims. That's the most disheartening part of it all, because you got people making a mockery of DV, not taking it serious, playing with it, playing with people's stories just because they don't like them. None of that is cool.
But half of them are DV victims. That's the crazy
exactly part. And that's what I'm saying. At least 95% of the women surrounding this storyline is a DV victim or a survivor. And that's the most disheartening part about it all, because it's like, at what point do you really look at everything that's transpired and say, okay, enough is enough? We didn't hear recording. Like, at this point, I feel like people playing in my face. Like, we heard recordings of people that support her, literally saying she need help. She basically saying everything we've been saying. Like, it's just, I just don't understand it, child. Like, at what point is enough enough? Because at the end of the day, I feel like, even though the sector is small, the storyline is major. It done went viral several times. So you have to be real careful when you play with DV, because you make other women scared to come out and tell their story, because they won't feel like they'll be taken serious. Especially with this whole saga need to be thrown in the trash when it comes to DV. Period. And restart with somebody else, so a real victim, because ain't no way.
Because if a person attached themselves to it because they thought real DV was going on, they was fully misled.
Well, shoot, at this point, if they can't see that it was all fake, at this point, I think everybody sees that. Even the people that support her see that she is not a real domestic violence victim, unless you just dense, like something wrong with you. I mean, it's at this point
we are for covering the story. At this point, because they making it to seem like as if it's just a fly on the wall, when some people really went through some things to get out of the situations that they are in, and they found comfort or attachments to the situation because it was relatable to the situations that they had been through. So for it to turn into a name calling match and all of the things that it has been. Like Lupac said, the whole saga is trash if it was supposed to be on a representation of DV, because nothing DV within this situation represents that. Nothing in this situation represents DV at all.
And I just want to say, I know Upper said she wasn't going back and forth with people no more, and I have to give kudos to her because she been standing her ground and just staying staying in her lane. And y'all, we have to remain focused on what we here for. All the back and forth and responding and watching. You know, I don't do none of that. I don't watch none of their stuff. When people send me clips, I don't even open it up. Therefore, I don't know what's being said. I don't know what's going on. I don't go over there and give them a view. And we just got to remain focused, stay over here in our lane, and continue to make JOHNELL pay for what he did. And that's putting his hands on a woman.
Because that's DV.
DV, and that's what we here for. We're not here to go back and forth.
Never did and never will.
Let me tell y'all, it is hard for me. Harmony, no.
I know.
It is hard for me. I commend, I commend all of the ladies who have, over these past couple years really have been able to even hearing your name, still been able to just ignore it and just stick to what y'all came here for. Because I know for me, a few months ago, if I would have heard my name a few months ago, it'd have been, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Oh, you want to rumble? but now I think for me, it's more so I kind of get now like what it's about, because I think it may have been Harmony earlier in the beginning of this live where she said, no, I think it may have been Latae, where she said, when people don't have an intelligent response in there. And that's why I changed my name to the Great Debater, because I understand that the reason why you're coming after me, and all of the ladies on this panel, is not because, you're fat or you're ugly or you're this and you're that. Okay, great. But how come you haven't debated any of the points that I've made? So I understand that it's just a distraction. It's just a deflection. And when people say nasty and ugly things about you, they don't even know you. And what it really is they don't have a valid point. And we got to remember that on the LaTruth side, we fight with actual facts. And we can say confidently, we can confidently say that we are, using facts to present our point, because again, we're not digging anything up or making any assumptions. These things are literally placed on this young lady's platform out of her own mouth. So we're fighting with facts. So when they don't have facts to fight back with, then it's you're broke, you're ugly, you have an eviction, you're fat, and it's like, listen, at this point in the saga, it's like, I'm gonna get my 7-year-old for you, okay?
Man, that's what I be thinking. When my daughter 31, she was like, Mom, is these people my age? When when I
mine's too, I swear.
She was like, Mom, why do you be saying the other side? And I said, what's the side that stands for BRIANA? I said, and this is what they talk about. And I was letting her listen to clips. Y'all know Harmony Jr. And I was letting her listen to clips, and she was like, is they my age? I said, no, they're older than your mother. And when I think about the stuff she going through and how she be saying, I'm too old for this, I ain't gonna do this, I just don't understand. There's no way I'm gonna be on here going back and forth with another adult. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Nope. I mean, it came to a point where, let me say this, right? You ever go back and listen to your own live streams?
Yes.
Yes.
I go back to the ones we used to be on, but I know you listening to yours is one hell of a listen.
Hey, listen, I knew that I needed to stop going back and forth with these people, because it was one time I was listening to my live stream, and I'm 37 years old, y'all, and I was listening to myself, and my good grown ass was up there talking about some nana boo boo yo. Wait a minute. I said I have to stop myself. I said, what have I been reduced to? This getting out of control.
That's what I said when I did my last video. And when I was like, you know, talking time.
You just
Oh my
gotta really
goodness.
sit back and think about like what's the end game? Like what can you get out of it? That's what I look at. What can you
Right.
get out of
Mhm.
going back and forth on the internet besides raised blood pressure?
And looking at
Outside of
that.
that, ain't nobody gonna meet up. Ain't nobody. The most you gonna get from it is a court date, and who
That's
got
it.
time for that? So
That's
it's
it.
like
Talk
no,
about
we
it.
ain't doing it. We ain't doing it unless you finna pull up in the boot. We ain't doing it.
Right.
And that's because even though we fighting with facts, they don't have the facts to fight with, because then that would be revealing the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But
Yep.
I love y'all. I had a good time, and I'm getting
Yes,
ready.
this was awesome.
I really appreciate you letting me come up, Harmony. This was a good build.
No, I appreciate you being
Yes,
here.
ma'am. Even though I was late.
You know, I
Well, y'all
appreciate
know why I was late, so.
And then we get off me and Lupac. Lupac is curious.
You say, you know, I'm always late.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Okay, Upper, thank you. Lupac,
Huh?
is your man at work or he at home?
He at work.
Oh, okay, so you can stay up late tonight.
Yep. I'm about to go live. I'm gonna go live in a little while though, but call me when you get off the live so I
Okay,
can
y'all going over there to Lupac Live.
All right, I'm going over there to your live, Pac. I'll meet you
I
over there,
appreciate
girl.
I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody for coming. And y'all please go follow these ladies.
Have a good night, everybody.
Because this was a good build. I wish I could have got on, when y'all initially started, but we're gonna have to do it again.
Yeah, we will. It'd be nice if we can do it like once a
Absolutely.
month. Recap on each other's channel. All of us.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that'd be super dope.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just move around. Yep.
Well, I see you on over there, Pac, in a few minutes, girl.
Okay.
Thank you, and I love y'all.
Bye,
Okay, thank you,
everybody
Harmony.
who gave super chats. I'm gonna shout y'all out in my video. Bye.
Harmony, don't forget to end your live.
Shut your ass up. You gonna be calling me like you still alive.
Before you leave the studio, hit in live stream.
You called me, you was like, you still alive. I'm like, shit, I'm doing this. Okay, I'll see you in a little bit.
Okay.
Bye.